Hello, my name is Patricia Simpson. I am a British citizen and a permanent resident of Costa Rica. In July of 2009, I rented a large house from Stephen Allen Bucelato. I prepaid the rent for 28 months, $12,000 US. After I prepaid the rent, Bucelato's attitude towards me changed. He also threatened my 78-year-old ex-husband with death by drowning him in the pool and also by beating him with a lead pipe. Bucelato showed me his gun on several occasions when he entered my home. His lack of respect for me as a tenant and continued harassment made my life a living hell. He extorted me to buy a water tank for $375 as there was a leak in the tank that belonged to the house that I had rented from him. After he cashed my check, he bought the tank. He proceeded to take the tank and install it in his own house. His house was adjacent to the house I rented. Then he filled the tank I just paid for with my water from the house I rented and continued to steal my water for 2 months. During that time, there were 6 people living in Bucelato's house. I was also extorted into paying $1,000 for a telephone cable. When I objected to pay for repairs to the sink, he threatened me with, and I quote, "I will get 2 heavies to come from the village and physically throw you out." And so I paid for the repairs to the sink. I was also forced to pay to have a leak repaired on the tank in the house that I rented from Stephen Allen Bucelato. Following that, I suffered a series of intrusions and violent physical attacks in my home, which has left me finding it very difficult to walk and now require assistance to move around. During the course of my attacks, I was beaten, pushed to the ground, kicked while on the ground, had lit cigarettes put on my inner legs, and had my private area lit on fire. After being lit on fire, I was a victim of yet another invasion in my home. Stephen Allen Bucelato would go through my garbage and collect items that he would take. When I called the police after he robbed me of cash, he indicated to the police that I was out of my mind and that I didn't know what I was talking about. Stephen Allen Bucelato told me that he knew what colour my panties were because he was looking in my windows. This made me very frightened and uncomfortable. He was not only cruel to me on many occasions, but he also treated his dogs in an inhumane manner. He deprived them of food and water. Such they were drinking the chlorinated water from the pool and resorted to eating the plants in the garden. Cheese, the dog, suffered at the hands of Bucelato by being not only starved, but deprived of proper movement and was tied up for long stretches of time. Endless cries by the dogs for Bucelato's attention went unheard. I decided to leave the apartment for fear of my well-being, and Bucelato agreed to replace the balance of the prepaid rent, a sum in excess of $6,000. To this day, he has failed to oblige that agreement. I left my place in Estoril's West Day and then went into hiding for 2 months in the town of Jaco. I came out of hiding to go to the Banco de Nacional de Costa Rica so I could get bank statements to provide the police the dates in which Aliman the gardener, Bucelato, and Bucelato stole the money from me. Bucelato followed me into the bank, did not make any financial transactions, and was staring at me. Eventually, for our safety, we were escorted out of the bank by an armed security guard. With the bank statements in hand, I proceeded to make the 4-hour round trip to Capos to deliver my statements to the OIJ. I have filed a report with the OIJ about various times that I was extorted for money, and the report includes the stealing of money from my purse and my money jar, as well as the accounts for threatening life and misuse of a handgun. Stephen Allen Bucelato still to this day has not been charged for any of the crimes he has committed against me. I am afraid for my safety and that of those around me. These fears are based on the cruel things that he has done to me and his lack of respect for the law. If you would like to help me, you can make a substantial difference by contacting Laura Chinchilla. She is the President of Costa Rica. You can call her office or email her or send her a message on Facebook. I am convinced, as a woman, she will help rectify the situation because I have received no results from the men I have dealt with in Costa Rica. Please understand that this is not the normal behaviour for a Costa Rican. That, in fact, the average Costa Rican is quite warm and welcoming. Bucelato is a gringo living in Costa Rica. Thank you all for watching.